Now, Laura's decided to take the weekend off, well, for her, but she's still been keeping busy, you know, ahead of the return of Restaurant this week on TV3. She met up with one of the world's most famous and charismatic chefs.
Yes, lucky Laura quizzed Marco Pierre White on being a critic on the show, food, and of course, how first celebrity chef Grainne Seoige got on the kitchen. Let's take a look.
He looks like he's looking into a bucket of slop, kind of.
He's thinking.
Is he? Is that what's happening?
I'm really impressed.
There's good thinking behind it, I think.
This is lovely presentation.
Marco Pierre White, the series The Restaurant is going to be returning to our screens here on TV3 very soon. You're back as resident critic. What is it about the programme that has enticed you back this time?
Well, you know, I've done several programmes in my life, but what I like about The Restaurant show, it's real. You've got an individual who has a true passion for cooking, and they step into a professional kitchen. Yes, they have assistants, because they need them, but let's not forget they're cooking for 50 people. And what the assistants do is they realise their menu. But it's nice, it's the easiest gig on earth. You turn up, you sit down, you have dinner, you go home. There's nothing complicated about it, and you have a glass of wine. It's genius.
Well, actually, there's great chemistry between yourself and your colleague Tom Dorley. There seems to be a little bit more sympathy from your side to the goings-on in the kitchen.
It's not about being sensitive, it's about being honest. Sometimes I go to restaurants and the food is not to my liking, but I can respect the quality of the cooking. And so when you do the restaurant show, you sit down and you get many different styles of food. And sometimes you get many different styles of food within one menu. And you have to be honest. Because if you're not honest, then the first thing you do is question your own integrity and what you stand for and what you represent. And it's about being fair to the individual.
Do you begin to formulate in your mind a picture of who the guest chef may be as the meal progresses?
Well, I said last night, I said, this is the touch of a female. I could just tell it was a female who'd put that food on the plate.
So then do men and women cook differently?
Well, we cook the same, but it's how you present things. You just sort of sometimes know that it's a girl's hands. What's amazing is the overall quality of the food. That's what I find extraordinary. And I think of all the shows I've done, it's a very, very clever concept where you take a member of the public who happens to be in the public eye, and they have a passion for cooking, and you catapult them into a professional kitchen. And then they have to realise their dream, their menu, and feed 50 people in a professional service.
People suggest that being a chef is not a job or a career, it's a vocation. Would you agree with that?
No, I think it's therapy.
Why?
I think it's therapy. As I've said many times in my life, gastronomy is without question the greatest form of therapy any misfit could ever be exposed to. And I was one of those misfits, and I think it really is. I think if you spend long enough in a kitchen, you will discover yourself.
I can understand why you would think that, because you're focusing the mind on something so intricate and specific.
And you're working with nature, and you know, you're creating, and the beauty of gastronomy is you get instant gratification almost. You can't say that about a lot of jobs in this world.
Well, speaking of which, I can go home, close my front door and turn off the TV, and I can leave my job behind me. But you have to eat. You can never tune out. So are you always the critic?
I think, you know something, the easiest thing in the world to do is to criticise. And I'm not really in the business of criticising, and if I tend to criticise, then I tend to make people laugh with my comments.
So how important is ambience and atmosphere when you're dining out?
Well, the most important aspect of any restaurant is the environment you sit in. If you don't feel comfortable, it doesn't matter how good the food is, you're not going back.
Do you really believe that?
Yeah. I mean, most smart restaurants, it's like sitting in the chapel of rest. If we ask ourselves the most obvious question, what is our favourite restaurant? I bet you it doesn't have a Michelin star. It's a restaurant which, number one, you go to, you sit down, you enjoy yourself. Number two, you like the service. Number three, you get food to a very good standard at a price point which you're happy to pay. So therefore you keep on going back. For me, it's all about the people I'm with. That's the most important.
I can tell the next series of The Restaurant is going to be superb. Thank you for your time. And the best
You're very
of luck
kind, and
filming.
thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
You're very kind. You've got very big, you can let go now. Please let go of my hand, Laura. Get off my hand. Get off my hand.
Our celebrity would like to sort of like say that the biltong is pressed with coriander seeds.
Oh.
And when it's sliced with a slicer, that's what you're getting, is the coriander seeds.
That's not true. Grit is grit and coriander is coriander.
The textures are quite different.
Coriander doesn't grind between your molars.
Take that, Grainne. Yes,
Yeah.
the restaurant returns for a new series here on TV3 at 9 p.m. On Thursday. As a master chef yourself, almost. What's your view on Marco Pierre? Are you a fan?
I love him. I think he's one of those. I think he's the last of a dying breed in terms of that old style kind of shouty,
kind of charismatic
rock and roll chef.
Yeah,
But he was, back in his day, he still is, but he was the one that they all wanted to be.
The first of the celebrity chefs, wasn't he? The first
Probably,
really
yeah.
charismatic one, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But there's still a few of them left. I wouldn't like to cross them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I wouldn't like to cross
Especially with the cleaver in his hand.
Grit is grit and coriander is coriander.
Have you ever been in his restaurant in town where there's pictures of him in the 80s with a cleaver?
Oh,
in
the
his hand?
cleaver, yeah.